Facebook Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
You're watching Facebook Live or YouTube Live. There on the screen, our friend Ethan Forhetz of Convoy of Hope. They're helping Ukraine in the midst of the Russian invasion. Well, they do it all over the world, but specifically we're going to talk about Ukraine in just a few. But should I say live from Missouri? It's Ethan, or what should I say, Dan?
I say Missouri because there's no in Missouri.
What should I say, Ethan?
Well, it depends on what part of Missouri you're from, and it also depends on whether you're a politician running for office, because I've heard them say it different ways. Missouri one part of the day, and Missouri different parts of the day when they're traveling to different parts of the state. So it really is your choice. I think the majority of people call it Missouri.
That's okay. Good. I feel
as they should.
Thank you very, very much. Well, let me say this before we get into the important stuff. I was doing a little digging. And, you know, I mean, at my age, you can get on the internet and almost find anything by accident. So I was digging and I found this picture of Ethan when he was younger. Can you flash that up? There he is. Right there.
That looks just like him.
Yeah, that was Ethan. At what age, Ethan? What time?
At my younger years, for sure.
No,
had more hair and
the hat and everything. I mean, it just looks just like you right there.
Had the hat, yeah. It's uncanny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Ethan was a anchor reporter for a television network. Where was that? It was. I know the story was about Lancaster. Was it in Lancaster or where?
No, we're in Springfield, Missouri, which is where Convoy of Hope is headquartered. My wife and I worked in TV here for 15 years.
Okay, so but you were doing a story about, and this is funny. You can see the clip on the internet. In fact, James Corden picked it up on his show one night a few years back and did a little bit on it. It was hysterical.
Seth Meyers did as well.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I watched those, and apparently there was a robbery, and the police sketch was that of the guy that robbed the convenience store, whatever, and they actually caught the guy.
And
based off of that, wow.
Based off of that. Yeah. And people ask me all the time whether that was a true story. And it was, in fact, a true story. The only thing that we had wrong that night was that it wasn't a police sketch. It was a witness sketch.
Okay.
But still.
Yeah.
Did the guy look like that? I mean, when they brought him in?
He did. Yeah. You can watch the video. It's been viewed more than 100 million times around the world. It's crazy. But yeah, the guy looked pretty close, minus the hat.
Well, honest, when I watched, I didn't watch the Corden thing till after I watched yours with you being on the air. And when you started talking about it, and then I thought, okay, well, this is like the slap heard around the world. This is a setup here. This is, but you did it so well. I thought it was so entertaining, but I thought we'd bring that picture back. And I'm sure you hear about it all the time, right? Folks say, hey, you're the guy with the sketch.
Well, I've got two of them. 2 years in a row, we were on NBC's year-end show for the best bloopers of the year. And the first one, the sketch wasn't really a blooper. It was a true story. It was just funny. Yeah. The second one was the Home Depot bomb threat. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
No.
But that might be something that you look up when you have a minute or two to laugh.
Home Depot bomb threat. We'll have to look that up. Okay.
We'll have to check that out. Then the next time we have you on, we'll talk to you about it. Well, let's talk about important stuff. We love Convoy of Hope. Thanks for hanging with us. We believe in what you guys have been doing from the very beginning. And you, as we talked about earlier, you're helping those in this invasion. I read this morning that Russia just either completely turned off natural gas to Poland and Bulgaria. So here it is. This thing is spreading like wildfire, and we're really not sure what the outcome is, although we want to help the people of Ukraine, and that's what you guys do so well. So give us an update, Ethan, if you will. What's going on, and what are you guys into?
Yeah, we've been on the ground there in Ukraine and in Poland and in 6 other countries in that area since right after the war started. And in fact, we've been working in Ukraine and in parts of the EU since 2014. So that really went well for us when this started, and everybody knew that it was going to start. We had the infrastructure in place. We had some relationships in place that have really been key for us in getting that very necessary supply. And we're talking just the basics: water, food, cleaning supplies, hygiene kits, baby supplies, getting all of that to the people who need it. We now have a warehouse that we're working out of in Poland near the border. We're also working out of an unmarked warehouse inside Ukraine, where we're taking unmarked vehicles with supply in there. Wow. And then we're working with a lot of churches to take their unmarked Sprinter vans and smaller vehicles from our warehouse there. They load up with supply and then take it into their neighborhoods, where they're able to distribute it to their church members and other people in the neighborhood. So the relationships that we built in advance of this have been key for Convoy of Hope.
Wow. Now, what have you guys heard from those folks that are on the ground? I mean, when we talked to you originally, we talked a little bit about what you've heard, but things have had time to kind of brew a little bit. What have you heard as far as what they're seeing and the need there?
Well, the attacks are moving into different areas now. Our teams had been in areas where a lot of women had stayed behind. The majority of the refugees are women and children, and they've left from the cities that have been attacked so far. Now, as those attacks are moving into different cities, more of the women are leaving those cities, leaving the men behind to fight, of course. So it's a desperate situation for a lot of people. And when you look at the cities that have been decimated by the bombs and missiles, even if it ended today and they went back, it's going to be very, very long term to recover and to get back on their feet. It's interesting. Convoy of Hope is really known for its disaster relief services. Last year, for example, we responded to 64 disasters in this country and around the world, 52 weeks in a year. So you can tell that we're very, very busy. But a lot of what we're known for is our disaster response. And what happens in a normal disaster is a hurricane's coming, everything ramps up, or tornadoes hit, and it ramps up, and then it's over. And then, okay, we can get back on our feet. We move in, we help people, and people slowly get back to normal. This has ramped up, and then it plateaued a little bit, and then it ramps up even more as Russia invades different areas and attacks hospitals and things like that we've seen. So it's a different response for us, and it takes a lot of logistics. Responding to any disaster takes a lot of logistics, and our team is incredible at that. They've done it for so long. But responding to an active war with bombs literally flying is a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
Ethan Forhetz with Convoy of Hope. I think you mentioned last time, and I may get the town incorrect, but not only are you focused on this crisis, but I think you were dealing with, was it Arkansas that had the tornado, or there was some, you guys,
New Orleans.
So New Orleans, 52 weeks out of the year, you guys are somewhere. So it's not just focused on one place. You've got the irons in the fire everywhere. Are the donations coming in enough? Do you need more? What's the deal?
Well, we always need more, especially in a situation like this, because you just don't know how long this is going to last. And people have been, people have been extremely generous in seeing what's going on in Ukraine. So they've really rallied behind us and behind other charities with their generosity. But yeah, more is needed because we have committed to being there long term. And man, you can, when you're shipping from Springfield, Missouri, or when you're shipping from different parts of the country over to Poland and Ukraine, it's very expensive. We have several containers on ships as we speak. We're also buying in country, so we're buying a lot of supply in Poland and Germany and then moving it over. But the expense of that is extreme. And the longer it goes, obviously, the more extreme it gets. And what Convoy of Hope always wants to do is to help as many people as we can for as long as we can. And the reality of that is it comes down to donations.
So convoyofhope.org is the place to go to make the donation. To find out more, you can also click on the banner that talks about Ukraine. And I see there's a video, an interview with Olga. Tell us a little bit about the volunteers like Olga who are working over there. And obviously that's her home. And so she's passionate about it. Tell us a little bit about that.
She is passionate about it, and that's what we've seen is the people who are escaping, they want to do something. They want to be part of the solution. They want to do something to help their countrymen. And in fact, we saw that the very first day that we got our Poland warehouse, it was quite a feat to get that warehouse, number one. The Lord really went before us to help us with that. But the day that we were moving in, our team was there on the ground cleaning up the warehouse because it needed some work before we could move our supply in. And there was a group of women who came over, and they helped all day long, sweeping and cleaning up in there. And it turned out that they were Ukrainian refugees themselves who had left the country. They had fled the violence, and they wanted to do something tangible to be part of the solution, to be able to be help and to be life-giving for their country men and women who were coming out of the country still. It's really, really been incredible. And the generosity of the Polish people has been unbelievable. We went to a church service not long ago inside Ukraine, and it was extremely powerful just to see the fortitude that they had. They were praising the Lord, singing the song by Russ Taff, "Praise the Lord," but in Ukrainian. It's on our website. It's powerful. And if you read the lyrics to that, it really fits what they're going through. But then when the people have left and gotten into Poland, we go to churches there, and all of the people are housing people from Ukraine. They've just invited them into their houses. Churches all over Poland are housing people from Ukraine. So it's really been heartwarming to see the response when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Ethan Forhetz, Convoy of Hope. We're talking about helping Ukraine, convoyofhope.org. And Ethan, we know you're not just a pretty face talking about it. How much has this touched you in your heart, this whole deal? It's got to affect you in some ways emotionally, right?
It does. We hear the stories, and man, if you watch that video of the church service, it's powerful when they're singing that song, and they're singing it from a vantage point that most of us have never been in. This is now life and death for them, and they know where their help comes. It comes from the Lord, and they're offering up praise in advance of what He's going to do and how He's kept them so far. So hearing the stories is powerful. There's been a story that came out, 4 generations of one family, a matriarch, her daughter, her granddaughter, and then a young child, a toddler, a grandson, all escaping. And we have pictures of the second oldest feeding the matriarch some soup at a border crossing that we had prepared for them. Just powerful stories. And I think it's tough for Americans. It's tough for me to put myself in that desperate situation. But I hope that my faith would be like the faith of the people that we've seen in that Ukrainian church, that you would still be trusting in the Lord, and that I would still be offering up praise, knowing that no matter how this ends, it ends well for me.
Convoyofhope.org is the place to go to make donations, to find out more information, and they can use all the help that they can get. So go today, convoyofhope.org, and make a donation.
Hey, Ethan, thanks so much for hanging with us. We'd love to catch up with you in a couple of months to see how we can help, kind of, feel the pulse of what's going on. And as you mentioned, if it ended today or tomorrow, they would still need help, because I can't imagine seeing that video of the cities that are just burned out and blown up. They're going to need a lot of help in the future. It's not overnight fix. Hey, go again to convoyofhope.org. And when you get a minute, Google Ethan's name and see all the videos. And maybe we should frame that picture, Dan, of Ethan to remind us of him at a younger age.
Definitely. Oh, look, there it is right there. He's got it framed. That is awesome.
That is
right
so
next to Ron Burgundy. Is that Ron Burgundy?
That's Ron Burgundy. Yeah.
I'm Ethan Forhetz. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.